And welcome to ATN Achievers. My name is Priya and I'm here with a very special guest that's in the studio at ATN. Today we are joined by Andrew Singh Kooner, an Olympic boxing champion from right here in our very own Canada. Andrew, I want to welcome you to the show.
Thank you, Priya. I really appreciate it. Thanks ATN for having me on. This is such an honor to be blessed. We were in the waiting room over there and looking at all those pictures of all the past people that came on the show. So I'm blessed to be able to be with them.
And we're so excited to have you here because you also are a trailblazer. And I want to talk a little bit about your journey and where you are today, but some of the extraordinary work that you're doing to support not only our seniors, but also a lot of our youth. You're making a huge difference in the community, and that's why ATN has considered you an achiever today.
That's amazing. I feel very honored. And our mission on earth is to help others. That's what God has bestowed on us. Like, this is your responsibility. You got to help others, right? So that's a mentality always.
And folks, we're going to talk about a couple things today. Andrew is helping folks who have Parkinson's disease, and he's helping to mitigate and to work and manage some of the symptoms that are associated with Parkinson's, since it is a degenerative disorder and a disease that's affected so many of our own community within the South Asian realm. We're also going to talk a little bit about his work with some of the youth and helping at-risk youth, but also helping to develop confidence in people that just need a little bit of a push. And Andrew's done an extraordinary job with not only boxing, but also just a lot of good life skills. So Andrew, let's start from the beginning.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about growing up as a Punjabi kid in Windsor. What was that like for you?
Growing up as a Punjabi kid in Windsor, and you're one of the only Punjabi kids in the whole area, in the city. There wasn't that many back then. But you know, growing up amongst being a minority and getting picked on, getting called names, it wasn't easy. It was difficult. You had to overcome those things. And that's kind of what really shaped me to become the person that I am today, is from that beginning, for that to have those qualities bestilled in you.
And did you face racism? Was that something that was common for you growing up?
Honestly, it was, because look, I'm a small kid. I'm brown. Then they used to call me Packy. I used to get in fights all the time because nobody's gonna call me a Packy and I just walk away. I know you're just supposed to walk away, but hey, you can't call me that. I wanna but the thing is, the major thing is, when I started to box and I started to do well, and then they started to respect me. They saw, like, oh, this kid, he's in the paper, he's doing this, he's doing that. We shouldn't bother him. Let's not call him names. And it was like that. So people gain respect for you. You know how.
And this is a very interesting concept, because it's like you've kind of taken a really challenging situation and empowered yourself, which is amazing. So at what point did you know that you needed some support and that boxing was it?
Well, when I boxing became my life. It's still my daughter, wife, and boxing. That's all intertwined like that. So boxing has always been a big part of me, and you know, and I'm very fortunate to have. But you know, one thing I have to say first: if it wasn't for God, if it wasn't for Babaji, if it wasn't for Babaji, God, you know, I would never have been anything in boxing. I never would have done anything. He's the only reason why I was able to do anything in boxing.
And you've been knocked out a number of times. You've had, so many experiences within the realm of boxing, and you've come out and you're here today.
If you're gonna go swimming, you're gonna get wet.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna box, you're probably gonna get hit maybe a few times, maybe 100 times, maybe 1,000 times in your career. But it's what I I put my name down for. I wanted to box, you know, and this is what shaped me into being who I am, being able to use. But the beauty of it is, like, I'm able to use boxing to help other special populations. Parkinson's disease, that's a major one. Being one of the first 2 coaches in Canada to get certified in this program to slow progression of Parkinson's, rock steady boxing, bring it to Canada, have a facility in Canada, first affiliate, and gain so much experience from that. Learn what are the best things to do, what's going to slow progression the most, and that's what I do more. Like hand-eye coordination, calling punches. So they're thinking, it's a lot of thinking, cognitive. At the same time, it's force intense exercise because your heart rate's going up. And that's what's needed. These 2 things combined. I think I just said a whole bunch of stuff.
That's amazing. No, it's great. And you know what, you've segued into our next topic, but I want to go back a little bit more. So growing up in a very, you know, more traditional sort of Punjabi household, what was the feedback from your parents? How did they feel about boxing?
It was my mom that put me into boxing, not even put me in, forced me into boxing.
Really?
She's like, one day, because my mom was a supervisor at a daycare, one of her teachers was going out with a boxing coach. They started talking. Mom was like, I want to bring Andrew there, brought me to the gym. Me and my 2 brothers came too. They ended up quitting because boxing's not for everyone, especially for them. No, I love you guys.
How old were you when you started? How old were you?
I was 13.
13.
Okay. Right when I went the first day, my mom brought me there, made me go there. I loved it. I loved boxing. I was such an athletic kid. Karate, soccer, hockey, all those sports. But I quit them all because I wanted just to box all the time. I love the one-on-one. This is you. It's not you have some, I can blame, oh, I was tired, man. Can you go in for me? It's not that.
Yeah. You had the discipline.
Everything's on you.
Yeah. And your mom, it sounds like, was a catalyst for this entire equation to begin.
She was the one that got me into the boxing gym and was a big part of my career. But my dad was a major part of my career. It was my dad that took me everywhere, to all these gyms in Detroit. I used to train a lot in Detroit, Windsor. I used to live in Windsor, so it's a border city. And can you imagine going to Detroit and fighting there, like on the west end of Detroit? This gym was Adam Butzel's. What an experience! And these are the things that made me better, because I was getting that kind of training and whatever, and I was getting better here, and subsequently became the fighter.
So let's go back a little bit. We're going to rewind the tape back to the 80s, the 90s, growing up in Windsor, and you were going to Detroit to do some of your training.
Right.
So, which is really, really cool, actually.
Right. I learned a lot there. The education that I got there is priceless. Priceless education. And and my dad brought me every day to Detroit. My dad did everything. He drove me. Look at that. You have that kind of push behind you. You better go do something. Right?
And would you say that being South Asian, and this is still a new realm for us, but entering an area like boxing,
100%.
Do you think having the family support, having your mom and dad both on board, was that?
Well, amazing, right? Because my mom forced me into it, and my dad was right there all the time with me. And it became a family thing. My brothers were, their sister, they're just learning the boxing stuff too, right? You got a fighter in your house on a diet, doing this, having to lose weight, this and that.
And they're witnessing all of this on every single day. So, so we're getting into your 20s now. You're getting a bit older. And tell us a little bit more about that experience and what led you to training to understand Parkinson's disease in the States. How did we get to that point?
Well, the reason how I got there was I was watching the special one time in 2016. It was on one of the American channels, it was on this program called Rock Steady Boxing, and I'm like, okay, look, there's two of my loves: boxing, helping people, bring them together. I'm like, oh my goodness, I gotta go on the computer, find out how to get involved with this program, and then went from there, started there. But the thing is, like, even my wedding, maybe like 2-3 of my Parkinson's clients came to the wedding.
Really?
Yeah, because they're close friends of mine. Yeah.
So in terms of the actual Rock Steady program, what did it look like for you to get trained? So you're coming in as a boxer and you're learning this whole new way of doing things. What was that like?
Honestly, there's similarities because you have to be, well, now it's like other people are relying on you. So don't let them down. Like, you want to help these people, you want to make them better and stuff. And you don't want to let them down. You don't, honestly, it's not just, you just want to, hey, give them hope. Hey, man, I can help you out. I can make I can make like things better, your symptoms and whatever. But then you can't deliver. How do they feel? They're like, oh wow, I'm gonna get this help. I'm sure when you get diagnosed with Parkinson's, you're basically on your own. What do you do? Like, this is something new. It's scary, very scary.
And there's such a lack of support, and there's such a stigma even within our own community when we talk about disease and some of the things that our own seniors are going through.
Right.
So I think it's really, really important that you talked earlier about faith. And the concept of seva is really important, not only in Sikhism, but in a lot of different religions.
Yes.
And you were talking a bit about helping the community. And I think what you're doing is really a beautiful element of seva. So I know what Parkinson's is, but I definitely know most of us might even have somebody, a family member or a friend, that unfortunately is experiencing this degenerative, disease. Tell us a bit about what is Parkinson's.
Yeah, so like you just said, a neurological degenerative disease. It slowly gets worse over time. So that's something that you want to sustain. Like, it slowly gets worse over time. You get different. So basically, what it is like in the brain is dopamine. Brain and your dopamine helps you function, smile, laugh, function, move. This disease slowly takes away that dopamine. And it causes these kind of symptoms like bradykinesia, stoop posture, balance, like things like that. More sometimes at a rapid pace. Now, what I do, I was part of the Rock Steady program, being we talked about that. What I do is bring those two things together, which we talked about, and this program. The thing is, like, my clients, it's my responsibility to help them get better. That's what they've like hired me for. They have me as their trainer for that reason. I'm a perfectionist. I want to do everything the perfect way. So.
And the cool thing is, Andrew either does home visits or you also do community visits, and you can do this in a different setting depending on what the needs might be of the client.
Yeah, it predominantly it's one-on-one, because the thing is with one-on-one is, like, obviously it's more, it's more of an intimate setting. Like, I'm gonna come to your house at more comfortability, whatever, but you don't have to leave to go anywhere. So there's a lot of people that have progressed with the Parkinson's disease, and they're not even able to drive or whatever, right? So, that you look at that, then some people are just sitting at home and they're not doing it. And, that happens a lot in the community too. The stigma behind it needs to be talked about.
And some people don't want to talk about it. It might be hidden and say what's going on with so-and-so, and they may not want to reveal what's going on because there's some misinformation. So what is the correlation, though, between boxing and Parkinson's?
Most people say, oh, Muhammad Ali, he got Parkinson's disease from boxing. But boxing, this is non-contact. It's helped slow the progression, and it's shown that. It's already factual. There are the Rock Steady boxing program, boxing helps slow progression of the disease. It shows that, right? Like this, it slows the symptoms. It works on things that will help these symptoms of Parkinson's, right? So that's the main thing, you know. And it helps you improve. You live a better quality of life is the end goal, is better quality of life. You're able to do everything on your own and stuff. That's what you want, right?
Can you give us a couple of sort of testimonials, like with some of the clients you've worked with, what's some of the feedback or some of the results you've seen?
Honestly, I this is no joke. Like, they all love it. They love boxing. They love punching. They love the stuff that we do. Like, I spar with them sometimes. Not contact. It's just throwing punches like that. But they're moving. They feel great about themselves. After that 1 hour, it's a great workout, and they look forward to the next one. Like
and
that.
do you find that some of the symptoms are lessened as a result?
It for sure is, and that's the reason why we're doing this. It's the reason why we're doing this, and we're not doing like strength training or something, or yoga, or I'm not saying anything negative about anything. Please don't about any other discipline. I'm just talking about what this does, right? So.
Absolute benefit. So, do you think you could show us a couple of moves that you might do?
For sure. So, but we're gonna do it in a seated position.
All right.
But you guys all know the stance, the way your stances and your feet are positioned is a number one thing with the boxing. So you learn this proper stance and foot placement and all that ends up. Right? I gotta become like a proper teacher and show you guys. Okay, so now when you're throwing the jab, look how I turn it all the way over and hit with the first two knuckles. Bang, snap it, bang, bang, snap, bang, snap. Okay, Priya?
I'm just watching today. I'm gonna learn. I'm watching you.
Okay, so we'll show the two is the right hand. So I go by numbers. One is jab, two, look at the pivot. Bang, two. You gotta pivot, put the cigarette butt out, bang, and hit with the first two knuckles. Bang. Okay, let's see the 1, 2 now. 1, 2. See that? Wait, I want to get up. No, I won't.
Next time we'll do it in studio.
Sorry, I just get the. Sometimes I just want shadow box.
Look at that. Bang. And so you do this with your clients who have Parkinson's.
Yes, but not like we don't do contact.
Okay.
But like the work that they do is great, is fabulous. I've had some clients, you know, like one client, he passed away, but he used to love training. We used to talk about boxing, like how my fighters were doing and stuff, and yeah, but it's been fantastic. All the people have been amazing people. I think like with this training, it can, because I do with my clients, and they see what the difference is. They improve, not greatly. They're not like, but they maintain that. They maintain.
Because again, when you have something that's degenerative, of course, it's getting worse.
It's going to get worse, and
yeah.
That's what we don't want to see that. Because I've seen people, some of the Parkinson's that have gotten worse over time, and honestly, it's shocking.
Now, just a few weeks ago, Andrew had the chance to work with Seniors Club, which is the AWIC Seniors Club right here in Markham-Scarborough area. Yeah. And what was that experience like for you? Tell us a bit.
Mithan G over there, he's an amazing person. Working with those people was, I don't mean it like that. I mean, working with that community center over there.
Yeah.
They were amazing people, amazing. They loved boxing. Everybody loves boxing because it helps so much. They see that, no, obviously they're not gonna become world champions and stuff at this age. They're working still, and everybody loves boxing because this is a good way to always defend yourself too. is another big reason why people want to do it. I work with autistic children, special needs, through boxing, using boxing, because boxing has so many benefits for them, so many. It helps them with the confidence, self-esteem. Like, those are big things nowadays, especially with mental health and everything.
And there's such a huge correlation between not only the physical health, but the mental health, like you're saying.
Exactly, yeah. Like, it's physical, mental, both together.
So how do you balance this, having your own family, but also helping people with Parkinson's, working with youth? Do you find it very hectic, or are you able to juggle?
I'm just gonna say it's great. It's great. Everything's great. Everything's great. We're blessed. We're blessed on this earth. We're all blessed to be in the position that we are and everything. And yeah, that's all I can say. Is blessed.
I just had a friend recently tell me that someone in her family was diagnosed, and there's so many questions and anxiety around this.
Yeah, because like it's a big mouthful to digest. It's big. So like you want to, and it's new information to you. You don't know about it.
I think this is a great initiative, and I think you've really brought two things that are very important together. And we want to wish you all the best on behalf of ATN.
Thank you.
And folks, I hope you'll consider boxing with Andrew Singh Kooner if someone might have Parkinson's in your family, or perhaps they may have a special need, like a student or a young youth, and they could consider, especially if they have something like autism or on the spectrum, this might be a benefit.
Yeah.
Well, Andrew, I want to thank you so much for being in the studio.
Thank you very much,
folks,
for having me.
Thank you. I want to thank you so much for also joining us today on ATN Achievers. We'll see you next time, and I hope you have yourselves a great week and a safe, healthy one ahead. Take care.